about people's insecurities, especially when people actually articulate them and are aware of them. It's quite interesting because people who are aware of their insecurities and talk about them are quite rare, to be honest. So I'm curious what sometimes quite shallow, other times incredibly profound, deep Reddit has to offer us regarding this subject. First reply by Sirsy. Interestingly, is also the original poster. I am insecure about what others think of my opinions. Commenting on Reddit is hard for me sometimes. I'll type half of a response and delete it because I feel like the other person is just going to think I'm stupid or something. I've definitely gone through that. I don't think that way too much anymore about typing, but I believe that that's quite common for people. Also, this is a comment of something directly talking about insecurity. It's funny because they're a poster of Reddit content. Like, this video is about a question this person posted, and they're sharing how they feel insecure about, like, talk about challenging their fears, right? That's pretty admirable. Alright, the first answer by Lala Lodge. Overall, I'm fairly confident. Except during the first couple of days of my period, and a day or two before. Then I'm insecure about my looks, my perception of the world, my intellect, and just about everything. That's interesting, because that doesn't really answer the question of what makes you insecure. It's more like what causes the state of insecurity. This reply by Disoriented Possum. I'm fairly insecure about a lot of things, but I think what sticks out the most is not anything physical. I'm always insecure about not being good enough. It's weird and hard to explain, but I'm sure someone out there knows the feeling. That's relatable. I'd imagine, honestly, probably most insecurities other people have felt at some point. I feel like that's almost certain. RepNMD says, my acne, very mild now, but still one of my greatest fears that it will come back. Acne is the bane of every teenager. I wonder, some people say that's a teenager thing, but you could probably argue that it's more of a societal thing. Like, we kind of put kids in a spot where, like, for the high school period, they're learning stuff that we're going to reteach them in college. They could just be working and still go to college at the same age, and they'd actually arguably probably be better off because they'd have a better sense of finances in the real world, living in crap. But because of societal constraints and the fact that most of our parents in the U.S. work all the time and don't have time for their kids, we ship them off to high school for 4 years for no reason aside from daycare, basically. And that produces a whole bunch of, like, shitty experiences for people. Some people have good experiences, true. I'm not saying they don't, but it's not really a necessary environment in that case. And it's also a point where, like, people are trying to find themselves and discover themselves. And one of the cruelest things you can do to people's insecurities is just put them around a bunch of other insecure kids who don't know shit about offending people and haven't felt hurt before, so they don't know how cruel they're being. Like, children can sometimes be some of the cruelest people in existence because they have no idea that they're hurting anyone. You know, they can truly actually not know any better, and that can result in some really intense situations for people's insecurities and whatnot. So there's something to be said about challenging your insecurities, but also, like, I mean, nobody should really be thrust into an environment where they don't have anyone to trust or feel safe. Like, it's one thing to step out of your comfort zone when you have a comfort zone in the first place, you know, to step out of. But a lot of people just don't even have one in the first place, and it's kind of dumb to be like, oh yeah, you need to challenge yourself more, but, like, they don't have the basic necessities to be, like, supported and shit. So, like, that logic just doesn't work, right? This reply, so what are you insecure about? By Craigie Davy. Sometimes I think that my friends don't really like me, and that they only invite me to things so that I won't feel bad. I feel like that too sometimes. Like, Not so much now, because I'm, like, most of my friendships, I don't have a whole lot of friends, but I'm very close to a few people, and I have a lot of history with those people, or at least I feel like I have a lot of history with them. I feel confident in the way they are, especially recently. But definitely in the past, like, even when I met people who actually liked me and, like, cared about me and were supportive and come to be my friends today, years later, in the beginning, I always thought, like, oh, I'm just some foreigner, they don't really like me, they don't like that I do this or that, or this thing, they don't like I'm messy. I would just find all the things I didn't really admire about myself and think that all the people around me hated me for those things. But, we're all doing that. And once you kind of realize that it's not just you who's beating yourself up, it's also everybody you're surrounded by, that knowledge kind of lessens the burden. You know, it's really easy to think you're inferior to everybody and you're having these insecurities because you're inferior. But the reality is you're having insecurities because you're a human and all the people around you are also human, and therefore they also have insecurities. You just don't know them. So, like, you're not special. Your insecurities aren't special, if that makes sense. Everybody has insecurities. And, like, you kind of have to learn to grow from them, right? But that can be hard. Ooh, a longer reply by She Is Nuclear. I have long scars on the insides of my wrists running down my arms about 5 inches. It is very obvious what failed purpose they mark out. I am very insecure about them because they are so dramatic. They are pink, purple when cold, and positively screaming for attention. When people notice them, I can watch any respect that they might have had for me just drain out. I'm a 38-year-old grown-ass woman, and this is what happens. I could go back and just strangle 17-year-old me. Well, that sounds like not what 17-year-old her needed at all, unfortunately. What's kind of funny about this, though, is that, like, people, sometimes it's better to have something that is obviously easy to judge, because it means that, yeah, you're going to find a lot of people and you're going to see an obvious reaction in them. But honestly, you're better off, because those were people who were going to be fake to you for some other reason, and then they would show you their truth and maybe hurt you in the process, or you would feel let down. And because you gave them something simple to judge you about in the very beginning, you kind of filtered out those people from even getting close to you in the first place. And I know it can be shitty, because the reality is most people are judgmental assholes. Like, there's more judgmental assholes than people who are worth being friends with. So if in the beginning of meeting any person you immediately repel the judgmental assholes, you're going to find that more than half the time you're immediately repelling people, right? But from my perspective, you really are better off. Like, that doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who are going to accept you anyway. Like, those people exist, and just because assholes judge you doesn't mean that those people don't exist, you know? And we all have painful stories. Some of us have them on our bodies, and they're obvious, right? But all of us have them. It's kind of silly to judge and label other people when we're just as bad, right? This reply to What Are You Insecure About by Dr. Bundy. My hair. As a guy, I'm pretty sure I spend more time trying to make sure my hair looks perfect in the morning than most guys do. In general, guys are given an easier time about hair. Like, I have long hair, right? And I don't have to take care of it at all, and girls are like, they like long hair. And I've always wondered, like, wow, some girls take a long time to take care of their long hair. And then they'll turn around and compliment a guy who hasn't brushed his hair in like 2 days or 3 days. And it's like weird, you know? Like, why is there this double standard? Because if it was a girl who had brushed their hair, they'd be giving him shit. But then when a guy doesn't do it, they're like, whoa, that guy has long hair. Whoa. It's kind of funny. This reply to What Are You Insecure About by Asian Racist 10. My voice. I cringe whenever I hear a recording of myself. I'm also a pretty scrawny dude, working on gaining weight. Whoa! I totally relate to this. Like, I don't know if I'm insecure about my voice or what it is. Like, I can listen to recordings of myself and I don't hate the way I sound. I'm definitely critical of my voice, like more critical than other people, but I don't hate it. That being said, I really get embarrassed if somebody's watching a video I made or a recording while I'm there. I feel really embarrassed. So I don't know if that means I'm insecure about it. I guess it could. It could mean that. I don't really know. It's not like I hate it. I just feel like I want them to watch it when I'm not there. I don't know why. Like, yeah, I get embarrassed. I guess that probably does have something to do with some insecurity. Another reply by Kobe N. My identity as a person. When in social situations, I don't feel like I have any role in the group and I become introverted. Oh, hey! Well, for what it's worth, I felt that way and it led me down this dark, lonely path of thinking I was an introvert. And that I'm just destined to not enjoy people. But that isn't really true. It just means that, like, I need to be around certain kinds of people who are like-minded and who I enjoy. And once I met those kinds of people, I was like, holy crap, being around the right kinds of people, even for my introverted ass, can actually be quite a beneficial, energetic, happy experience for me. So if you feel like when you're in social situations, you don't give a fuck about anybody and they're not interesting, that might be because they actually are just very boring people and you want something more interesting. Like, the reality is a lot of people live incredibly boring lives. Like, they don't really challenge themselves. They don't put themselves into new situations. And their lives probably aren't going to change that much over the next 10 or 20 years. And for some of us, that thought is terrifying, you know? And if you're a person who's terrified by that, but you're in that situation, well, yeah, you're going to feel some stress, buddy. I want to say there's an easy way out, but it's not that simple, right? You gotta talk to a lot of people, find some people who you relate to, and if you can't find anyone you relate to, then you gotta start making content online to attract people who you relate to. And that's basically your only option, so do it though. I believe in you. Alright everybody, if you like this kind of content, please reach out to us. We are looking for more people to make these kind of videos and use our software. We are building it and progressing it as we make more content, and we want to find other prospective YouTubers who want to make this kind of content as well, where you read and react to the screen in front of you while recording it and making YouTube videos that way. If that sounds interesting to you, please reach out to us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking on the About Business Inquiry section, and then doing the captcha code, failing it once or twice, getting it right, sending us an email, say hello. We want to talk to you on Zoom. Alright everybody, thanks for watching.